Hi, everyone. There we are with the last episode of the pre-podcast series. Whew. So a bit of an update. First of all, I'm testing my setup. I have my microphone here. It's the Blue Yeti, I think it's called. I tend to want to show things to you when I'm on when I'm recording, but I won't do that because you'll probably hear it in the sound. It will be terrible. So I'll show you another time. Maybe put a picture up on social somewhere. But yeah, the big question, because it is week 6 of the Building My Podcast in 6 Weeks series. And the big question, did I make my deadline to release a podcast on time? And a question I always ask myself is, what was the ride like? Was it a smooth ride? Was it, would I change things? So did I make my deadline? Yes. So a little celebration, because Productive Introvert Community Podcast is up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts right now. You can already find it there. So please celebrate with me and go find it there if you want to keep following along. And it will be up on Google Podcasts, Amazon, and Stitcher soon too. But those take a little bit, they took a little bit more time, I guess. I was really surprised when it came out on Spotify because it was there instantly, but that's because I was using Anchor as a host, and Spotify recently acquired Anchor. So it was there like within an hour, and I wasn't expecting that. So that was cool. That was really cool to have that instant result right there. Was it a smooth ride? No, it was not. It went well. I'm pleased, but so many lessons, so many lessons that I learned. And I'm going to dedicate an episode later on to talk about these lessons from trying to do this in 6 weeks, and things that I've learned and that I would definitely change if I would try something like this again. But so, like I said, this is the last episode of the pre-podcast series. I don't really know what to, so what can I, let me give you a short recap of what I did this week to kind of tie up those loose ends. So it was there on Spotify really quickly. I had to shift gears because the initial plan that I started with was very different from what happened in those 6 weeks eventually. So always when you're recording something, there will be this ticking noise coming from somewhere. Press on. So the initial plan was very different, and I'll share more about that in the lessons episode that we're going to do. But so I had to shift gears. Things weren't going according to plan. And you know, when that happens, the inner critic can get quite upset, right? I'm the type that I'm a bit of a planner. So I like to have a plan and I like to follow it. And I've learned that that isn't always the most effective way for my personal natural working style. So everyone has a slightly different working style. I've mentioned that before. For some people, that works super well. They have a plan and they can really stick to it. But it turns out most of us don't naturally work in that way. So I've had to learn to kind of let go of that wish to do it in that perfect set way, linear way. And I was able to shift gears also in this project by really reminding myself, okay, what's the ultimate goal? What's the goal? What's the goal? And I spent a lot of time thinking about that before I even started to build a podcast. And that's why I could hold on to that. And basically my goal was just to have it up on one platform. And if I would choose just one platform out of all of them, it would probably have been Spotify, because that one's on, you can get that on Android and on the iPhone. And you can also just go to Spotify via your browser. So that one has kind of like a wide range. So if I couldn't do anything else, it would be to get it on Spotify. And I would be happy with that. And you can take it from there. So the goal was, publish it on a podcast platform. And I had my list of 4 that I wanted. That was already kind of like a bonus. So that was my goal, to get it on those 4, at least one, but ideally those 4 platforms. So when things weren't going according to plan and I had to shift gears, I just started focusing on that only. And I kind of left all the other things. And I already took you through a bit of my process that I do in the morning to kind of refocus. If you haven't seen that episode, you can go back to listen to that one. And I take 10 to 15 minutes every day, sometimes up to an hour, depending just what you need, right? This process to me is very important because it helps me focus. And even though I only work 3 to 4 hours a day, spending a full hour on that sounds initially like a bit of a waste of time, but it is something that's become so important to me to make the best use of the other 2 to 3 hours. So I can spend up to an hour just thinking things through and deciding what am I going to do today. So I left all the other things that I was going to do, all the editing, recording like 8 to 10 episodes in advance. You have these wild dreams like, yeah, I'm going to nail it. So I didn't get to do that. But by keeping my eye on the ball of this is my goal, publishing this podcast in 6 weeks. And if I'm honest, that's really all I need, right? Because I'm going to be releasing episodes moving forward once a week. So I don't necessarily need to have 10 right now. I can make one every week if that's what's necessary. So I have the base now that will allow me to build. So I'm already kind of giving you one of the lessons that I learned, and I'll talk more about that in an episode that I'll do later on. So yeah, this is the last one of the pre-series, but it isn't really goodbye because, like I said, I'm gonna start recording now the real podcast. I'm making air quotes for that. And I'm going to start recording that tomorrow. So in the podcast, moving forward, I'm going to pick one topic every week around being an introverted entrepreneur and combining that with life. I have a family, I'm a mom, combining your work with parenthood, working from home, trying to grow your business online, all that stuff. Those are the type of topics we're going to be talking about in a podcast, and questions that I get from people as well around those topics. So follow along, go to your favorite podcast platform or follow along on YouTube to keep taking those steps together on this journey. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you soon.